Welcome to EvolvingSeeds.com. I am your host, Michael. We will be going over the drop-down menu again because last time I did it into what each section actually was, and that was not my intention. And even though that video is more in depth, and you should go watch it if you want a detailed description of each section, you should go back and watch that video. But this one will detail just a quick rundown of all of the sections and drop downs on the website so that you can have the information in hand to go to a specific section, to the specific section that you so choose, based on the relevant reason why you came to EvolvingSeeds.com. So if you are new here, if this is your first time here, this is EvolvingSeeds.com. We plant the seeds. We are a full spectrum solutions-focused activism network entity, business, small business, organization, etc. But these drop-down tabs on our homepage: funding, services, and programs. Our soap shop, where we gift plant-based, all-natural, handcrafted soap that is zero waste. Our packaging is all zero waste. And we use the funds that we make from our soap to sustain ourselves as a family, to perpetuate EvolvingSeeds.com and its goals and proposals and programs. And so that's what we do with our soap shop and the reason why we do it. We offer free books here in the free books seeds section, free seeds section. It's free books. We have a donations and memberships section, which offers memberships which are geared towards giving back to the community and tackling some of the more dramatic problems that we have that are very physical, very practical, like litter, trash in our neighborhoods, patrolling our neighborhoods for hazardous conditions such as potholes, etc. Our on-the-ground services section features our cleaning service, our moving service, our litter pickup service, which is a specific program where we receive donations to pick up. And all this, we talk about donations and memberships so that we don't have to play the tax game with these people. And it facilitates the means by which all of this can be a tax write-off. So that's why some of the language gets a little... So we gift soap and we accept donations in exchange for the gifts of soap. Memberships are a little bit more detailed. They are about programs that we have to tackle these problems, like I said. And in our on-the-ground services, we have programs for progress. And you can fast forward this video because I literally just went back over certain parts, but I just want to make sure this is a little bit more detailed because it is going to be kind of short. Programs for progress features some of the other programs that are geared towards other aspects and avenues of activism, which we facilitate, and some of the goals we have for that. And then shop small businesses, which is other small businesses that we have recognized are attempting to do the great work and still, and still feed their families. Evolving Seeds Roots. This is more of the activism, grassroots, on the ground, in the streets part of Evolving Seeds activism and the entity itself, which is the active media section, which features news networks that highlight the conflicts that are in the world today, some of the emerging news, north, east, west, south, the data that is coming from those places around the world and the events as they emerge, these emergent urgencies or emergencies. That's where that is featured. Activism University is where we are laying out a train of thought which refines what we call history and evolution and the development of the human and the human mind, etc., and how that relates to activism and how that defines activism, and offering tools for the individual to propel themselves into a state of ascension, like absolute groundbreaking, wall-shattering ascension. Our health section, which is geared toward giving us relevant information toward, internal harmony, internal equilibrium, aka health. Our spiritual enlightenment section, which is geared toward centering self and our connection with the environment that is the totality of all environments, without becoming too woo-woo, as they say, or religious or anything in that context, but spiritual enlightenment with how it pertains to ourself, our psyche, more so, if you want a more clinical term, our psyche and our psychological enlightenment, law and environmentalism. The law and environmentalism sections, it's not that I'm skipping through them, is that law is kind of self-evident, but it contextualizes and again refines what we view as law, how we're affected by law, what is law, where does law come from, what is law not, like what's not law, and what is like color of law, things of that nature we'll be featuring there. Environmentalism is how we can attack these issues that are affecting the planet directly, such as wasting water. Just those are little, I'm going to name a few little examples: wasting water when we brush our teeth, wash our hands, consumption and overconsumption without regard for waste or the production and the packaging and the distribution and the ethics of a thing, and how it relates to the environment specifically, not necessarily human beings. So when things start going extinct, we'll feature that here, etc. If a nuclear power plant melts down, we'll be featuring that right here. Evolving Seeds, I mean, will feature in the active media section if it makes the news, which it will. But it will also, and the fallout will be featured here in the environmentalism section. And I capitalized the environmentalism because that's what environmentalism is, and that's why it pertains to all environments, not just the trees and the air and the water, etc. Evolving Seeds branches. This is self-related to the theme of EvolvingSeeds.com, going to the roots of the problems, plant the seeds, etc. These are the roots, Evolving Seeds roots. And Evolving Seeds branches. This is us extending a hand. This is us reaching out into the world and trying to facilitate some of the things that we're talking about and some of the programs and some of the information. This is how we are trying to get that out, and also extend a hand to help lift people out. People get stuck in quicksand and they start to go under the water. A lot of times they're able to grab a tree and pull a branch from a tree and pull themselves to safety. So we have mutual aid. This is where we feature content creators, more so organizations and mutual aid networks that facilitate mutual aid assistance, autonomous relief assistance for disasters, etc. That all goes in the mutual aid section. Resources for you is domestic violence. You're in a position that you don't want to be. You're being harmed, or you're being harmed by the state. You're being harmed legally. However you're being harmed. This is the resources for you area. In fact, I'll give it a click so you can see how it breaks down. Evolving Seeds resources dedicated to providing a little spotlight on organizations for the benefit of those who could and would benefit from the resources these organizations provide. The following organizations are doing the great work through the inner system grassroots activism presented for your consideration. And then it goes into the domestic violence, the National Dating Abuse App, Hotline, National Center for Crime Victims, National Coalition for Homeless, National Center for Domestic Violence, National Center, like on and on. And it breaks down. That's why I thought I should highlight this a little bit better, because this is what Evolving Seeds is all about: providing access, resource, information, and data to the regard of toward the means of informing them of how to improve their situation, their lives, or themselves in some way. That is our whole purpose. Then we have the effective activists, which feature effective activists from all over the world doing their great work. That is not just activism for the sake of activism. All activism that is sincere, genuine, and equitable is legitimate activism, and it's valid. But some avenues, like let's say that the earth is actually flat. Well, then the activism surrounding that is really important. However, it's still not really relevant. So it's not really effective if it's not relevant. So we're geared to featuring effective activists, not to discredit specifically any types of activism, but this is the lane such as law. Somebody's doing their law thing. Somebody's doing their civics thing. Somebody is out there talking about health and getting people healthier, and they're doing it in a way that is relatable and comprehensive, etc. That we want to feature them there. So it's not just any old activists we're featuring there. We have a lot of natural law activists, because that's one of the main ways that we're going to find equity, discover equity, achieve equity. and sustainability above all. Effective organizations. So these are not just activists, these are groups of activists that have come together to do the great work, and that's self-explanatory. And so they're kind of intermingled and they perpetuate each other, because I actually pull a lot of my individual activists from the organizations that I follow and highlight and feature. And then the intentional communities section, which is our next video, which I probably will be doing tonight, if ever possible. But the intentional community section features one of the solutions that we put forward, which are crowdfunded, decentralized. I was saying franchise, but that's the wrong word. I meant conglomerate, alternative grid intentional communities. Obviously, conglomerate or conglomerated doesn't sound as good as franchise, but franchise is not the right word. And we're all about conciseness around here, correct versus incorrect, etc. But essentially, it is intentional communities which are developed from and by an overarching not-for-profit, non-profit, or for-profit, whichever one is the right one for us to achieve the ability to be this corporation that I'm talking about. That type of corporation will create green businesses, zero waste, ethically sourced products, services, businesses, that those businesses and the overarching corporation, 100% of those profits go to developing, maintaining, and supplying these intentional communities with the resources that will enable its inhabitants, aka members, to enjoy all of the things we are being priced out of right now, such as a place to fucking stay. And then this is the volunteer with us area, because EvolvingSeeds.com, one of the main things I did not want to do is because I'm very proud of EvolvingSeeds.com and like how relatable and the theme and the marketableness of it. So I didn't want to take that away from anybody else who was doing their own great work. And so we are not really in the business of assimilating other activists and then being like, here's some Evolving Seeds shirts, and this is our culture at Evolving Seeds, and this is what we do, and we want you to do it so that you can work with us. No, we want you to do what it is we think you do that's dope, and we think, and whatever it is you do from your own perspective. If you really want respect what Evolving Seeds is to that degree, and you want to support Evolving Seeds gear and stuff like that, and engage and be a volunteer, that's where you do that, and we would appreciate that so much. That is not our main focus, because again, we don't want to assimilate people. We want to augment their own enterprise of activism, because we view activism as a career. This is the career that I actually chose, not the one I do to get money and sustain myself. And that's what I'm trying to make that transition from, depending on a corporation for my the means to sustain my family, but simultaneously with trying to and attempting to develop systems and programs that will render these systems obsolete. I am trying to transition my financial income to be solely from activism, because it is my real career, which is why we have an activism resume request on here with the contact us section. So if you want to volunteer with EvolvingSeeds.com, please, by all means, do so. And then this is I should fix this to more, et cetera, or something. But this is our purpose, principles, and goals. Very important if you want to see what our plans are, our culture, our company principles, and what we stand for, and what we value, our values. Contact us, get in touch. There's several of these all over the place, because I wanted to be informed of various types. So you can get in touch about mutual aid, and there'll be a mutual aid form. And if you can get in touch about some trash you saw in your neighborhood that you want cleaned up, and you can get in touch with a contact form that's in the cash for trash area. There are various forms, but they all come to me, but they're all titled based on what you were interested in or contacting us about. These are our terms, conditions, and facts, FAQs, frequently asked questions. You should check that out. The frequently asked questions are off the charts. And I did a video about that, so you can actually check out the video. If you weren't inclined to read it, you can listen to it. And our legal policies and safety warning and stuff like that is right here. But that is the drop downs, and thank you for being here. I don't want to keep this too long, but please check us out on TikTok. Check us out on, all of the platforms except Facebook. I think X won't let us even on there. Like, they won't even let us on there. Twitter, I know they're connected, and that's probably why we can't get on either one. But TikTok, YouTube, whole ass website, evolvingseeds.com. Check us out.